Amazing. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to A Little Dicey. This is a whole new little series that we're putting it on. We're calling it Cold Hearts. We're going to be taking a break from the Great Lydian Crown for the next 5 sessions, and we're very happy to be bringing this little mini, a 5-shot? I don't know. Sure, it's a little mini series that we're going to be bringing to you with all new characters, set in the exact same world that we've been playing in, the realm of Petrichor in the kingdom of Naladi. It's just going to be taking place in a different part of the continent. It's going to be taking place in the same timeline and everything like that. The players are going to be playing all new characters tonight. And as you can see, we are also featuring, if you didn't see this from our posts earlier in the day or before, but I don't know where she is on the screen for everybody else, but for me, on my phone that I can see right now, Jenna is directly below me, so that's super fun. So if everyone wants to give Jenna a welcome back in the chat, that would be awesome. We're very excited to have her back playing with us for the foreseeable future. Also, if the audio is a little odd, please let us know. I assume it's probably just going to be on my end. Unfortunately, I had some Wi-Fi. I still have some Wi-Fi issues. My Wi-Fi in my area in New York right now, there's a bunch of storms going on, and my Wi-Fi's out. Spectrum took a shit on me, so drop a fuck Spectrum in the chat. We hate Spectrum.
Pay for that.
It's actually really good internet, but I pay a little too much. So
no, I meant for them to take a shit on you.
Oh, that's free. Spectrum comes and does that themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, that's part of the plan.
Service they provide.
It's expensive around here.
That's the Spectrum difference.
That's right.
We'll take a shit on your chest.
Spectrum, take a shit on your chest.
We're sponsored by Spectrum this evening.
Yes. But yeah, so without further ado, we're essentially going to be jumping into it. We just have, a couple things to explain for those of you maybe who have not joined us before. We are an interactive stream. So Hannah, do you want to maybe tell the audience a little bit more about what that means?
So yeah, more you interact, the more points you get. You compete in those, what are they called? Raffles, because I couldn't remember last week what a raffle was. You get points that way. There's a store. You can use it to get special little things. My recommendation is to screw the DM, because that sounds like fun.
I don't know.
No one ever has fun.
My personal favorite's probably Player's Drink. Let me get into character.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I love that. That's what he's going to sound like. Jamie, what's one of your favorite channel rewards?
Well, it is the Wild Surge, which you can still do, even though Indigo will not be in today's story.
Yes, you'll still be able to Wild Surge, so do not worry about that. I will be taking care of that myself as it comes up. So definitely be redeeming that.
Am I still the arbiter of the Wild Surge, or is someone else going to handle that?
Oh, who knows? We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Who knows?
Yeah.
You can also redeem the create an NPC reward, which means Sal will create an NPC right on the spot. You'll be providing some basic facts, the name, maybe a class if you want them to have a class, some character quirks, race, to do whatever. If they have a special talent for, like, say, shitting on your chest, that's something you can incorporate in, and we'll see them pop into our real world in real time.
Yeah, absolutely. Shitting on your characters who shit on your chest are like right in my back pocket all the time. So if you want to redeem that, and that's one of their quirks, perfect. That's right along.
Straight out of the fanfic.
That's right. Jenna, do you have one that you like?
Yeah, if you didn't want to do that.
What are you, the fun police over here?
Yeah, what the fuck?
You could also redeem some points for the Easter egg reward, which is kind of my favorite, because it's when you help us players figure stuff out by making Sal give us hints for things, which I really appreciate. So definitely would recommend.
Hell yeah. Very cool. Trying to think if there's anything else that I need to mention off the bat. Oh, yeah. Michaela, I know you are watching and listening right now. If anybody redeems an NPC or anything, I know the players are going to be watching the Twitch chat. But as I said before, I do not have access to internet right now, so I'm running on my unlimited data on my fucking cell phone plan. So I can't see what the fuck's going on Twitch or anything as we play the game. So I will be focused entirely on the game. Yes, Garrett.
They say herd. Just so you know.
Heard. Sick. Okay, cool. So yeah, just don't be afraid to interrupt whenever Twitch redeems like a reward or anything. Any one of you or Michaela, just shoot me a text and I will do my best to get that working out just fine. So all right, players, do we have any questions, comments, concerns, or queries before we begin? Okay. Well then. The last remaining members of the Cold Hearts Guild. The 5 of you find yourselves floating on a very small boat through the waters of the southern Cerulean Ocean here on the crest of the Scorched Coast. Behind you, high up on the cliffs, in a burning inferno, is your former stronghold. All of the members of the Cold Hearts Guild releasing out screams of terror and pain as the fire engulfs them into ash. You can still hear the screams and the shouting, the begging for mercy, as the boat floats and drifts and is carried by the wind deeper and deeper out into the Southern Ocean. The 5 of you gather on the deck of the boat as you watch this horrible vision, this nightmare come to life in front of your eyes, slowly drift off into just a speck of orange and red and yellow in the night, until finally, without speaking to each other or saying anything, barely even muttering a sound, eventually you find yourselves deeper into the southern Cerulean, far enough away to where that speck of red, orange, and yellow fizzles away into the horizon. And all around you is the ocean, reflecting back the myriad of starlight from the sky. For all that it's worth, it is a beautiful night on the sea. Terrible, horrible silver lining to this black and horrid storm that you have just weathered. You each sit here rocking side by side as you just float out into the ocean. Sort of numb for a while, until the shock begins to wear off. The pain begins to settle in your bodies. The adrenaline is dumped. And almost simultaneously, the 5 of you exhale, and the reality of what you've just been through washes over you like the tide that you escaped from. You all look around. The fleet of ships that were making their way towards the stronghold, towards the Chillhearth, your home for these past odd number of months and years for some of you. They don't seem to be anywhere near you. You don't seem to have been chased, followed, or anything. You've escaped with your lives, which is more than your friends, your guildmates, your siblings, your brothers and sisters can say. But here you are, you 5, still alive, alone in the middle of the ocean. You feel around yourselves, sort of try to gain a bit of semblance of understanding of what you have access to. You all have your usual belongings that you keep amongst yourselves, rarely ever seen without. Your line of work, this sort of mercenary type lifestyle, adventurers for hire, some of you might say. Others might even call themselves or yourselves folk heroes. Whatever you really are, you are never too far away from your blade, your loot, your gold, your wands, your beads, what have you. But you suddenly realize you have nothing but what you carry on you on any given day. No rations, no supplies beyond maybe a crowbar or what you could find on the ship. There seems to be a barrel of some type of half-rotting fruit, some type of citrus. There's some supplies like hempen rope, obviously an anchor to buckle down, more rope that you can find, some leather patches and things of that nature. But nothing of true value that can get you through the coming days. Each of you realize you'll have to dock soon, at least, to try to make it to shore and make it inland, find some town or someone to parlay with. And it suddenly hits you how shockingly quick all of this happened, how alone you are now, and how all you have is each other. Gaxel, you find yourself sitting towards the bow of the ship, legs in between one of the open railings. You're sort of large enough to where you can rest your arms on the railing itself while you're sitting on the lip of the bow with one of the, if the railing is here and it's got some, I don't know what to call this off the top of my head, but you know what I'm saying, or maybe you don't, but you're sort of sitting on the lip of the bow with your arms on the railing, sort of looking out, fiddling with the prayer beads around your neck. You've always struggled with expressing what these other humanoids call emotion. You have a pretty good understanding of what it looks like on the faces of your friends, of the faces of your enemies. You understand fear. Part of that might even be instinctual. It keeps you alive. You kind of understand what it is to love, kind of like that feeling that you get when you want to start a family and keep the tribe going and reproduce. It makes sense to you. But this is the first time that you feel as though you have a true understanding of what sorrow is and what loss feels and looks like. Dash and Des. You notice Gaxel, while he is usually eager to understand different feelings as they arise, new forms of expression, so he could maybe start the process of mimicry and really getting an idea of what it is people feel. The two of you and your intuition realize that perhaps for the first time he truly is feeling something deep and mournful and scary. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna walk up to Gaxel and just kind of lean over the the railing with him and say, "Copper for your thoughts, Gaxel."
It doesn't make very much sense, does it?
What doesn't?
I thought that Penn was committed to the same experiment that I was, that we were going to test the bonds of friendship and companionship. Seems like he's abandoned that experiment.
Certainly seems like he's abandoned a lot of things, doesn't it?
On a certain level, I almost have to respect what he's done. You know, I think that he must have felt like this was the best chance for him to survive. That said, I am going to have to bite his dick off.
Yeah, I've got to tell you, you lost me in the beginning there, but I'm right back with you at the end there.
Good. Yeah, you see, it's not enough just to kill him. We have to create an example. We have to... Death is a very broad concept. Biting someone's dick off is specific.
I like the way this man thinks. That is absolutely right, guys. It's a brilliant plan.
Thank you, Des.
I mean, he definitely deserves to suffer after all the business with Griffin.
That's true, but it's not just a matter of making him suffer. We have to show everyone else that this sort of behavior won't be tolerated in the future. It's for our own survival, you understand.
Yeah, I suppose so. That does sound about right.
Good.
What about that whole business with, like, the devilish looking folks?
That, I think we'll need to get some more information about before we can decide what to do. I don't think that she has a dick for us to bite off.
You're talking about Guinevere specifically. No, I'm just talking about all the ones that massacred our friends and colleagues.
Yeah. Do you think that they have dicks?
I think at least a few of them.
Well,
I think we're probably in for a very long night of dick biting.
Well, let's start with getting somewhere with food. How does that sound?
sure. I could go fishing if we would like to get some more rations.
You brought a fishing pole with? Do you just have that on you?
Oh, I don't need a pole, and I'll dive into the water.
Oh.
Okay. Gaxel, why don't you describe, as you stand up and then hop onto the railing on the side of the bow, before you leap into the water, why don't you describe sort of how your body moves and maybe a little bit about your own anatomy?
Sure. So Gaxel has a scaly green lizardish form. And the top of his head, he has a sort of a crest of blue spikes that go down his head. Sort of very light, very kind of athletic figure. I think he would remove his plate armor before he goes into the water so it doesn't get rusty.
Sure.
And it's sort of like a loincloth underneath all that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Amazing. You leap into the water. For now, just give me a survival check. Make it an advantage, because this is not something that is foreign to you.
14.
14. We'll get back to you in just a moment. Triss, as your three companions converse and try to get an idea of how it is they feel and what it was that you all experienced, you keep your sight to the north, from whence you came. That single speck of orange red light, that inferno that you escaped from, while you can no longer see it on the horizon, you can still feel the heat beating at your back. You feel the sting of steel and iron from the blades of these devilish creatures. And you feel a hand pat your right shoulder. A calming, steady hand from your companion, Misha, over on the right. As you turn and look up, the sort of full-faced, jolly-ish sorcerer that you have come to appreciate and understand these past few years.
Oh wait, real quick. Someone redeemed inspiration for Jamie.
Wonderful!
Because they really liked biting someone's dick off.
I love that. Great. Jamie, keep that in mind. We already rolled with advantage on the survival check, so your next roll, you're going to have advantage on that, okay? Cool. Great. Triss and Misha, you both sort of look northward from whence you came, absorbing this experience, this nightmare. What would you like to do?
Yvonne and I have discussed it, and he is also for dick biting business.
And the familiar weasel of Misha's companionship scurries up onto his shoulder, down his left arm, which is still patting your right shoulder, and down onto your own shoulders behind you, and sort of moves up to your left ear and sort of nudges against you, trying to comfort you.
It was that stupid bitch, Guinevere. I don't think it's Penn at all. He would never do something like this.
You could be right.
Party drinks.
Party drinks!
Party drinks.
Cheers.
Me doing my fancy glass.
I will catch up on the potion after I finish my tea.
Oh, very nice.
Don't
Yes.
you worry.
Oh, it's so sweet.
Don't you
I've
worry.
got my potion of haste.
Oh my lord!
So
Shocking
funny.
monster.
He has seemed to change a great deal over the last I don't know how long. But
Ever since she came.
Now, I think that's giving her far too much credit.
As Des moves over from sort of the bow of the ship towards the center of where you are stationed, you all hear the sound of not a large splash, but you sort of turn Triss and Misha over as you just catch the literal tail end of Gaxel diving into the water below, and Des makes his way over to the two of you.
do you think it's really giving too much credit? We saw her turn into a devil lady.
I know, but I just think that a person should be in control of themselves. Penn betrayed us, and that's all there is to it.
Dex, you didn't know him like I did. He wouldn't do that.
Sal, would Misha know any detail about a succubus?
Go ahead and give me a religion check.
It is not very good. It is a 11.
11. You don't know too many details. You do know that they are a type of devil that has beguiling abilities, and their main abilities all center around convincing creatures to do their bidding. However, those with strong wills and those with, more a greater understanding of themselves and the world around them are less, that these abilities are less effective on. And if there's anyone that you've known in your entire life that has a strong will, it is Pen.
I mean, she's succubus, literally a creature that survives on temptation. It does beg the question when Pen became so weak, though. I would have thought he would have been able to overcome many of her charming abilities, but I suppose he was exposed for quite some time. At any rate, he won't have his dick very soon if all goes according to plan, and then it's not worth living anyway, so we might as well kill him.
Just then, Gaxel you hear like a shuddering against the side of the boat as the boat kind of shifts a little bit, as Gaxel's clawed arms sort of appear, or clawed hands appear on the side of the boat as he hoists himself up with two full, like his jaw like extended like a snake's, two full, large, what look to be maybe, I don't know, trout or something like that, like just lodged in his jaw. As he hoists himself up, his tail is also like holding on to a third, and then as he sort of hooks his lizard legs onto the side, he pulls himself up, and his right hind leg is also gripped onto a fourth fish as he sort of like flops onto the boat and just like tosses all four of them onto the ground in front of you all.
Hello, everyone. Lunch is here.
Raw fish, my favorite.
Flop around on the ground, just kind of kicking them up.
Well done.
Impressive.
Thank you.
I'll take the foot one.
It's true that you say that every time. Here you go. That's not canon. You have to make that canon.
real quick, as I'm like, I use Mage Hand to take the fish because I don't want to touch it. I don't want to touch it with my hands.
You don't want to corrupt that foot smell.
Give me
your own oils.
Just a second, and I go, fish, you're a scoundrel, and I cast vicious mockery to kill it without touching it.
That's gonna be what, a wisdom saving throw?
Gets to make a save.
From the fish.
Sure. Wisdom saving throw.
What's your DC?
16.
16, yeah. With a 10, that's a failure.
Yeah. Are you gonna make me roll?
No. Dash, why don't you describe, a little bit of how you go about casting this spell, and maybe a little bit more about what you do with the equipment on you, what you like to wear and stuff in this moment as you loose this spell against this newfound lunch, or I guess late evening supper.
So in my somehow, despite the circumstances, I'm going to speak in the accent the whole time.
Oh, do maybe.
Yes. Somehow, despite the circumstances, my impeccable blue tunic is absolutely clean, and actually, because of the nature of this spell, I just lean my handsome, fair-skinned face in, and I just whisper, "You are a scoundrel, fish." Because that's just how Dash Braxton rolls.
Of course.
And as it just flap, 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 dies, leaving a mortal coil in my mage hand, I briefly wipe my perfectly coiffed light brown hair back, and I say, "How are we going to cook this?"
Well, I don't know, but I liked what you just did to yours. Can you, you got an insult for mine? I pick
do.
a fish up by its tail, hold it out there.
You smell like a horse snatch.
Jesus. That's a 16. So that's you say that, and the fish sort of just like hangs there a little bit, unmoving, and then just starts like writhing like crazy. Yes, I need you to make a strength saving throw.
I respect this fish's fortitude to get past my somewhat misogynistic insult.
Like 22 on that strength save.
22. It flails around, and like your arm kind of tremors for a moment, and then you just sort of squeeze it. And as you squeeze the tail, you feel a cracking sound, and you just grab its head with your other hand, and you just rip its head off, and just sort of like, I mean, you weren't going to eat that part anyway, and its body goes immediately limp.
Well,
Good work.
Slightly messier than I was going for, but I respect it.
This was a team effort. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I set up the shot, and you crushed its head in your hand.
Right. Just like always.
Do we have a knife instead of yelling at the fish?
I've got several more. They're less misogynistic than that one.
I'll take some of the fish, the dead fish. I'll reach my hand out to you, Dash. Do you want me to? I'll hold up my dagger.
Yes, absolutely. And that it just like floats over with the mage hand.
Snatch it out of the air, and I'll start carving it up with my knife.
Bye, Sal.
Oh no!
Oh no!
We love him.
And then
I hope that means his internet came back, and he's
At
doing
this moment, we could do anything we wanted.
Anarchy.
I rolled a nat 20 on biting 10 stick off.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, never mind. Now we're good. Sorry. Never mind.
Of course. Can you guys hear me? We're good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we're good.
Sorry about that. I don't know why it just randomly happened. Anyways, so, Tris, why don't you, as you begin to carve up this fish, you don't need to make a check or anything, but why don't you describe how deftly you might be moving around and how familiar you are with the knife, and maybe in addition to what Garrett had just said, Hannah, if you want to describe maybe a little bit about what you play.
Yeah, she pulls her hood back, her hair kind of poofs out a bit, throws her little dagger up in the air, it flips a bit, catches it, and she just goes right in. Just some nice deft, swift action, and you got some little sushi fillets happening. I'll offer one out on a knife to somebody on my dagger. Hello, Freya. Yes.
Oh, cute.
I'll eat one of the chunks of fish that you hand out.
I'll just keep carving up more and hand them out on a dagger.
If you keep putting it out on a knife, I'll just like lean in with my mouth and right off the end of your dagger.
Watch the corners of your mouth.
With anyone else, I would be worried about their steadiness with their hand. But Triss, if there's anyone I respect with a dagger more, it might be Des. But
I'm gonna throw a piece of fish at you.
I'm gonna try to catch it.
Go ahead and let's do a dexterity contest. So you both can roll straight dexterity, and whoever gets the higher succeeds in their endeavors.
Sure. I got a 19.
That is a saving throw. Straight dex. I also got a 19.
Whoa! We roll again. Do it, please.
Okay.
Ooh, I rolled much worse this
I
time.
rolled even better.
Yeah!
21.
Yeah. No, 14.
No, they both catch the fish and then they kiss accidentally.
Oh no!
Chris, you flip you fling a bit of fish at Dash, and he actually just sort of like flicks his hair over, and the mage hand just flies over and grabs the piece of fish and just floats it down like someone like feeding him grapes, and he just.
Thank you, Triss. Another lovely throw.
You're welcome.
I'll take one of the other assuming I have another fish. I'll just like eat it just like a wild animal, just like
just slam it into it. Sure. That leaves one more fish that is still alive. Misha, maybe if you wanted to do something about that.
Yeah. Is it just flopping on the ground, or is it?
Oh yeah, just flopping about, maybe.
Yeah. So Misha will I suppose I'm already standing, so I'll take my walking stick and just kind of give it like a little tap on the ground, like a kung, kung, and make an attack on the fish.
Go for it.
That's a 27.
For sure.
And so you all see before your very eyes the fish begin to just like it's like doing its flop, and then it like gradually slows its flop, and then it's just fucking done.
That's it.
And then Ivan, my snow white weasel, will scurry over and grab it in its mouth and scurry back over, bring it to me.
Beautiful. Awesome. Misha, do you want to maybe describe a bit of other things about you as you're sort of making this little situation happen?
Yeah, Misha is a young man, relatively fair-skinned, as he's from the north. Fair-skinned young man, maybe mid-20s. Dark curls, sort of into his hair just a bit, kind of like mine, or over his forehead just a bit, kind of like mine. Green eyes. He's got like maybe like 5 extra pounds on him. And at this point, in fact, you hear him mumbling a little bit how like this fish would go really well with some cheese. And he's wearing he's got a blue cloak that he's wearing basically over like a nice button-up shirt. He's basically wearing like a navy suit almost. He's got a clockwork wristwatch and like your kind of classic clockwork steampunk inventor's goggles. And in fact, Ivan the weasel also has his own little set of inventor's goggles that perch upon his little forehead. And he's got his sort of walking stick that he uses to cast spells from. And yeah, that's him.
Amazing. Good stuff.
Would you say that this Misha looks younger than the one we're perhaps familiar with?
What do you mean this?
I don't know. Never mind.
Axel, do you know another Misha?
No, I don't know. Never mind. I'm not sure what I was talking about.
This Misha appears to be, as I said, a young man of maybe mid-20s.
Okay. I don't remember how old the other Misha was, so fair enough.
Alrighty. So each of you begin to at least try to sustain yourselves with this impromptu meal that Gaxel has provided you all. Last but not least, Des, as you sort of pick at the raw fish, trying to pry it away from the bone, as you just sort of snack on what you can without, raw fish is not the best thing in the world, but you do what you can. You never really complained about a free meal in your life. Why don't you describe a little bit about yourself as well?
Yeah, Desperado is my full name, and I'm a tiefling. I've got sort of reddish brownish skin. I have black horns that protrude from my head, but they poke out underneath a big black cowboy hat. I'm wearing a fringy sort of jacket and boots. Yeah, that's what I look like anyway. And I'm a tiefling. I don't know if I'm supposed to say my class or not, but I'm
That's fine. Everybody, I'm sure, will figure out what each of you specialize in relatively soon. Okay, well, great. As you all continue to sail across the southern Cerulean, again, it sort of washes over each of you that you'll probably have to dock soon. That means heading northward. You've been traveling now for the better half of maybe like 4 hours or so. The night has crept in. The light of the stars and the moon above you still lights your way. However, it's not the safest thing to do to continue to sail this deep into the night with this small of a boat, with this few of supplies. So it's probably a good idea, at least, to dock. Maybe not as soon as possible, but time is of the essence here at the very least. So, do you guys want to go about doing that? Do you want to sail for a little longer? What do you want to do?
Do we have a sense of where we are, like geographically?
Sure, everybody go ahead and give me survival checks. And then, Jamie, you can make this with advantage because you have inspiration.
Oh, right.
11.
9.
Survival.
23.
That's a 0.
That'll be a 17.
10.
Sounds good. Each of you have a pretty good idea, at the very least, of like the direction that you've been heading, which is westward and slightly south. You just south enough to get away from the coastline from whence you came, and you've been heading westward. If you continue heading west, you'll travel further down the Scorched Coast and eventually find yourselves kind of near the Dawnlight Peninsula, which, if you go further than that, that would bring you to the Blackwell province, which is like, that's like days and days and days away. So you can't really get there, relatively soon. But while you are trying to at least gauge exactly where you are, Gaxel, you suddenly realize that you recall that there is a certain rival syndicate whose their home base is sort of not too far away from yours. There have been constant sort of raids between your faction, your guild, the Cold Hearts, and this maybe less than a syndicate. We'll call them more of a clan, but the White Tusk Orc clan, which sort of has encroached upon this territory for quite some time, and the Cold Hearts have been hired many, many times to deal with them, but for whatever reason, it just seems as though they keep coming back. You do recall that they had set up a we can call it a stronghold. It's a little bit less of what you are used to at the Chillhearth Keep. Obviously that doesn't exist anymore because what just happened, but at the very least, you start to get this idea in your head, Gaxel, that you could probably pay them a visit and take out a little bit of anger and righteous fury that you might have boiling inside you against some of your most bitter and frankly rather cruel rivals, if we can even call them that. Certainly enemies of the Cold Hearts. So that is certainly a direct option that you could take that would satisfy both your need to survive and your need to express this newfound feeling that you have.
Where you said White Orc territory?
The White Tusk Orcs.
White Tusk Orcs, okay. We're very close to the White Tusk Orc territory. They have a stronghold nearby. Maybe we could kill some of them.
Are we in the business?
You know what? That doesn't
was
sound
the
like a
wrong
bad
accent,
idea.
for sure.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get out the Donnie's accent.
Yeah, that sounded a lot like my other character.
Southern accent's very hard to break.
I'm always down for a carnival of blood, but I don't have any material components for my spells.
Sal, are we saying that because I know you mentioned we have the thing.
No, you can. Sorry, you have those. You would keep those on your person. Yes.
Got it. Never mind.
It's just
I retract it.
Yeah. No worries. Hannah, were you saying something earlier?
Sounds like a good idea.
It
Wouldn't
would
mind
help.
killing somebody.
It would help to keep us in fighting shape for when we eventually have to deal with those demon things.
Plus, maybe we could find some weapons. I'm not much of a fighter, but I still enjoy having a blade on me.
Yeah, why not?
I could probably fashion some weapons out of their skeletons.
That's horrifying and helpful. Thank you.
Should we?
That actually is an ability I have.
Should we
Right
try?
on brand, Graxel.
Should we try diplomacy at all? You think?
That is a fair point. Do you think they'd be willing to ally with us against? What do you think they'd be willing to ally with us for whatever steps we take next?
Everybody go ahead and make nature checks.
I was going to say, they're orcs.
16.
7.
11.
18.
13. Oh.
Misha, there's a specific reason you bring up this idea of diplomacy. At the very least, diplomacy in the sense of how the White Tusk orcs might be willing to parlay with you. There is a very heavy belief, at least with this particular clan, after you've done a little bit of research, after having to skirmish with some of them for some time, trying to get a better idea of how you can solve this problem, since they don't seem to be going away after, you know, your group and your guild has been hired to deal with them many times. There seems to be a very heavy influence on strength being the specific key element that they look for in their leader. Their version of diplomacy is much more violent, of course. However, you're pretty confident that should you approach them and directly challenge their leaders, which after a bit of research, you sort of begin to understand, like, that's probably why they keep coming back. Whoever their leader or leaders are stubborn, and, you know, the head of the snake has not been chopped off yet. So perhaps you can supplant them, and who knows, maybe some of them will detract, who knows, but you have a pretty strong feeling that this code, this sort of honor-bound blood oath, strong survives, you know, mentality that these orcs follow, could, you know, turn in your favor should, you know, you all challenge whoever the leader might be.
You know, the orcish diplomacy is basically violence anyway, so if you are thirsty for blood, that's basically like saying, hello, how are you? Would you like to be friends?
That's my
I vote
kind
for
of people.
diplomacy.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go say hello to them.
Hell yeah. Are you guys, so Gaxel, you begin to direct everybody as you all begin to sort of set up the small boat, the small ship, in order to turn northward and begin heading towards the Scorched Coast coastline. Gaxel, you recall that this clan's stronghold is on the Black Sand beach itself. It's not on any cliff side or anything like that, like your keep was, but, you know, they sort of built a dock and they have ships of their own. They're very makeshift. They're more like, they're not really ships at all. They're a little bit more like, you know, long boats, like long canoes and stuff that they've been using. Are you guys just going straight line directly there and, like, you know, not making a show of it, but, like, are you caring about, like, going around to sort of giving them a wide berth so that you can dock yourself and then, like, approach via the coastline? Like, how do you want to do this? Do you want to just fucking go straight through and show up, try to dock on their docks and be like, yo,
First of all,
talk to your leader?
can you replace all future iterations of how do you want to do this with how do you want to cook this?
How do you want to cook this?
Let
Yeah.
him cook.
How do you want to cook this? What time
I really enjoyed that earlier. Secondly, do we know anything about, like, basically orcish warfare over water? As in, like, would we expect that they would be able to be fucking, you know, launching projectiles at us as we arrive, or?
Sure. Because you all have had dealings in one way or another with the White Tusk clan, you do know that their strategies are more of a sort of like, at least on the water, it's more of like a board and break situation. It's not like, oh, we have a bunch of ballistas and shit. Their boats are specifically, you know, made and designed for them to move very quickly with a lot of orc power, and then like just immediately board a ship and just fucking hand to hand destroy, pillage, do whatever they can, hop back off, and then take their plunder and head back. It's very like pirate guerrilla warfare situation rather than like setting up like a ballista. You're pretty confident that you're not going to be assailed by projectiles upon arrival, but who knows, you might be met in the open sea. So
I do have an idea. Is I could make it so that we could all swim. We could if we could maybe anchor the boat somewhere else, or I mean, is this boat even something we are going to try to keep?
Nah. Why do we need it?
Let it go.
Oh, are you telling me you don't want the half-rotten barrel full of egg fruit?
Egg fruit. And then I think maybe we approach from underwater.
That sounds good to me.
It's an interesting idea.
Could use Ivan as like periscope. Keep an eye as we approach. The weasel of the sea is very dangerous.
Well, I mean, are we going right? Oh God, are we going right in?
I start to take out some different components, and you see Misha start to basically like consult Ivan the weasel on like the right configuration of these little parts, and he builds up kind of like a little. It's sort of like a little snorkel, not in function, but just in shape. And then like, it looks like he's satisfied with what he, with his sort of configuration, and then kind of like clacks his walking stick a few times. And all 6 of us, including Ivan, are under the water breathing spell and can breathe underwater for 24 hours.
Oh,
amazing.
Oh, that is perfect. Des, Axel too, come here. And I put a hand on each of you, and just kind of like, and I cast Enhance Ability on both of you at the 3rd level.
Ooh.
So now you both have Bull's Strength, which means you have advantage on all strength checks for the next hour.
Awesome.
Unless I lose concentration. So don't let people hit me. Des, I know you know the drill. Gaxel, you should also know it by now.
We're familiar.
Sure.
Very good. Trish, is there anything that you want to do to prepare?
Tie back my hair.
Hell fucking yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
All right, cool. We're actually going to take our break now. This way, I have a feeling that this orcish diplomacy is going to go a specific way. So we're going to have a bit of combat to get into, most likely. Also, it looks like my internet has been restored, so I'm going to go like reset myself up while we take this break. And then that way, I will be able to actually do some shit. If my shit drops during the middle of it, it's okay. I'll just pop my phone back on like this, and we'll keep the ball rolling. But yeah, so thank you all for tuning in tonight. I'm very excited. We're going to take a short break, probably about 10 minutes or so. I'm going to get reconfigured, and we're going to hop back into the second half of our new mini-series, The Cold Cold Hearts. So thank you. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in. Sal, that did not come through at all.
Oh, it didn't? Oh, perfect. Well, whatever. Good. That's probably better for everybody else. Oh, it totally came through.
Not on my end, and guess what they're listening to?
I'm watching it on my fucking phone now.
Oh, okay, weird.
Anyways, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. Welcome back to the first episode of Cold Cold Hearts here on A Little Dicey. If you're just joining us, welcome. Very excited to have you. We are in the second half of our first session of this mini series that we are going to be taking a foray. We're going to be taking a foray into for the next 5 weeks. Very excited to bring you this story. For those of you who have just missed the past, hour or so, we sort of got a little bit of character introductions underway. So just to really solidify that, why don't each of us go through our characters and just give us a pretty good idea of what we look like and our general vibe, just for anybody who's joining in on us now, or maybe who has been here for the past couple of minutes and maybe missed a few things as far as details go. So I would love to start with you, Jenna, since you are our returning player. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Desperado?
Yeah, Desperado is his full name, but you can call him Des if that's a little too long for you. He's a tiefling. He's got reddish brownish skin. He wears a black cowboy hat through which his black horns poke up. He's got a fringy looking jacket and some cowboy boots.
Hell fucking yeah, brother. Jamie, you want to tell us a little bit about Gaxel?
Sure. Gaxel is a lizard man, has green scaly skin. Lizard folk usually don't really process emotions the same way that humans or other warm-blooded creatures do, but Gaxel's very interested in emotions and is kind of developed, emulates emotions as a way to kind of connect with people a little bit more, and is very interested in that.
Awesome. Lovely. Garrett, you want to tell us a little bit about Dash?
Oh, I'd love to. Dash Braxton here, and a handsome devil at that. Very grand, very gesticulating with his hands all the time. He's a human, average height, although he does wear slight heels. He's got a fine blue tunic and a handsome face with blue eyes and light brown hair. It's a lot shorter than mine. Perfectly coiffed all the time, even in situations where it seems like it shouldn't be. He's also best friends with Des. That's my boy.
Hell yeah, brother. Good stuff. Triss, Hannah, you want to tell us about Triss?
Yeah, Triss is like a sneaky halfling girl. She's got like a mid-range skin tone, poofy hair that would be shoulder length if it ever sat down, which it doesn't. She wears a very skin-tight, like black leggings with lots and lots of pockets to hold various little trinkets because she likes to steal. And she's got like this cloak, this short capelet with a hood. She's usually very amicable. She's very, let's say, loyal to her friends, and especially Penn, who she's known for a long time.
Sounds good. And lastly, Matt, you want to tell us a bit about Misha?
Yeah, Misha is he has dark curly hair that kind of falls, it's sort of medium length, it falls over his forehead just a bit. Green eyes. He's wearing basically like a navy blue suit. He's got a sort of your classic inventor goggles on his forehead, and like kind of like a clockwork timepiece on his wrist, and he also has his walking stick that sort of doubles as his spellcasting focus. He's a tinkerer, a bit of an inventor, and works with his snow white weasel named Ivan, and it's just generally pretty laid back, level headed, and yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, the five of you, the last remaining members of the Guild of the Cold Hearts, you find yourselves now with a bit more renewed focus as you sail towards the shores of the Scorched Coast, the black sand shores of the Scorched Coast, with the intent of parleying with the White Tusk Orc clan, a sort of encroaching syndicate of orcish raiders that have been ransacking the countryside this way south for some time now. You've had many different interactions with them, that you've been hired by denizens of neighboring towns and cities, many folks who are well-to-do and more wealthy, specifically in the city of Cinna Road, who make a lot of traveling mercantile trips, cross country, have unfortunately ran into some of the White Tusk Orcs raiding parties. And so you've been hired to escort people. You've been hired to, sort of patrol the land around. You've been hired to shoo them out and sort of battle them in the open fields over the past few months. And now that this terrible nightmare has happened to you, this betrayal by your close friend Penn, this boiling bit of rage and fury inside you finally has some sort of an outlet to be loosed upon, as you require aid in this dire time. And if parlaying in the Orcish way can attain this aid that you require, then why not dole out a little bit of righteous fury while you're at it? So with taking Gaxel's lead of sort of piloting this small ship towards the shores of the Scorched Coast, it doesn't take you long to sort of really rocket your way towards this Orcish stronghold that sits on the shores of the Scorched Coast. You travel for an additional maybe 2 hours or so with full intent and full speed, and eventually you see cresting over the horizon torchlight and firelight sort of scattering across this little pocket of dark atmosphere, where you can sort of start to see coming into vision the still very, very far away speck of a speck in your vision that is what you assume to be this Orcish stronghold far out on the horizon. You do know that there are there's a little bit of nautical supplies on the ship, and brought up from bottom deck up to the top earlier. You do have access to some telescope like objects that you can use to see out into the distance, if any of you would like to do that.
Oh, I'd love to.
Sounds good. Go ahead and give me a perception check with advantage, my friend. And shouts out to Serenity Libs in chat. Just a quick answer to your question. Yes, we're just on a break. We're going to be playing this mini series for the next 5 sessions. We're going to be featuring our old friend and old player Jenna during this mini series. And we'll be returning to the Great Nillidian Crown eventually. Who knows, depending on what the players do. Like I said, this is set in the exact same world, in the exact same time frame as our usual campaign, the Great Nillidian Crown. So who knows what the group might end up doing, and if they might be running into some familiar faces or not. But yeah, it's all the same stuff. We're just exploring our options and trying a fun new what's the word I'm looking for? Just a fun new I don't know, the word escapes me, but we're just trying something new. So
Foray.
It's gonna be a fun story. Yeah, what's it, Jimmy?
I don't know, foray?
Foray, yeah, raffle, just like that, Hannah. Good stuff. It's a raffle. It's a new raffle. Good stuff.
Yeah, so I got an 18.
18. You take one of the telescopes that you brought out, you stand on the bow of the ship, and you take a look northward towards the shore, and you can see there's not a lot of stirring going on at the White Tusk stronghold, but there are lit torches. There do seem to be Orcish patrol on the dock themselves. They're not like marching around or like actively whatever. They don't seem to have noticed you. No sounds or horns or anything that would usually mark any sort of alert system or call to action that you're familiar with the White Tusk Orcs. None of that has happened yet. But there are some Orcish raiders and patrolmen that are just sort of sitting on the dock by the bay, just rocking their feet and just
Watch the tide roll away.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it seems pretty lackadaisical in the middle of the night at this point, and they do not seem to notice your approach, at least now.
I do turn to whoever's nearest and go, well, it looks like they haven't seen us yet, but there's a good amount still out on patrol. Won't hurt to be prepared, careful. Where's Gaxel?
Hello.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Well, are we ready to descend?
Born ready. Let's go.
Sure, I'm ready.
I will quickly quickly cast, give myself the gift of alacrity.
Sounds good.
I have my shield out, but my lance is not. I'm not holding my. I'm not my lance like strapped to my back. I'm not wielding it, but I do have it with me.
Yeah. And,
Anything else you guys want to do to prepare before you dive in?
Do we plan to attack them right away, or would you like to speak with them first?
Well, I thought we were going to parlay.
Right, with our fists.
yeah, I
That's
think
what they speak.
God damn
We parlay.
it. Accents. I think the plan is we go up and challenge them to challenge their superiority.
Right.
And if
Take me
we-
to your leader and let me punch him in the balls. The
Exactly. Now, Gex, don't eat anybody's dick yet.
Yet.
I'll do my best. Do you think we have 10 minutes before we approach them?
I mean, we're getting in the water right now, so
I mean, we're just on the boat. If you want to take 10 minutes to
They
do
haven't seen us
something-
yet.
Well, if we're going under the water, never mind. I'm ready to go when everyone else is.
You gotta go to the bathroom or something.
I was considering summoning my giant toad.
Maybe not on the boat, brother.
That makes sense.
Okay. Good stuff. So now that you've all prepared yourselves, and Misha has cast water breathing on all of you, Dash has enhanced some of your abilities. The gift of alacrity has been given, and your hair has been tied back. Each of you readies yourself on the lip of this small ship, ready to essentially abandon it into the open water, advocating more for stealth by the cover of the dark cerulean ocean. Gaxel is the first to leap off back into the water from whence he came all those years ago. And each of you follow suit one by one by one by one as each of you dive into the water below with actually very impressive technique. Not a lot of splash, kickback, and not a lot of sound either. You sort of very periscope-like dive into the water, and this sort of Navy SEAL squad begins to make their way through the dark cerulean ocean. You can breathe underwater via the magic of your companion Misha at this point. So this trek is made much easier. This is not the first time that you've traversed like this. So that very odd sensation of not having to hold your breath, you settle into that relatively quickly, that shock of not that little bit of anxiety that you have about, just trusting the Arcanum settles very quickly. However, some of you still, still just don't have that muscle memory of keeping your mouth closed as you're swimming through, and a couple of you do gulp a little bit of seawater as you're traversing down, and you just sort of spit it out, and it, little bits of bubbles and spittle, cascade out into the ocean.
I always swim with my mouth open.
You just yeah, for sure. Good stuff. It is still a little ways away, so you swim for some time. I would actually like all of you to make constitution checks for me.
Not saving throws, just straight.
No, just a straight constitution check. This is like the one time in the game that I would ever make this call.
12.
Okay.
16.
30-20.
I'm not a hardy boy, but I am.
15?
That's a
50.
dirty. That's a dirty 10.
Oh, dirty 10. I literally thought you said 30, Matt. I was like, how? How is that possible?
No, it's a dirty 10.
Great. All of you successfully pace yourselves without overworking or fatiguing at all. None of you suffer any exhaustion as you swim for like literally like an hour straight. And eventually you stop for a little bit to rest. You float under the guise of the night sky. I would like all of you to make stealth checks for me. Everybody makes it with advantage.
I assume I have my armor on for this, actually, if we're going to be fighting.
You do, but because you are very strong, you pass the constitution check, and your armor is not like clanking around, which is what would cause you to have disadvantage on stealth. I would say you can still, that you do not suffer disadvantage on these stealth checks if you are wearing armor while you're swimming.
Dude, thank God for advantage. I rolled a 9 and a 24, baby!
Woo! I got a nat 20 for a total of 19.
Nice.
Oh, no.
I got 13.
Okay.
22.
Well, I also rolled a 1, but then I rolled a 17 for a 28.
Very nice. So the group passes pretty well. How would you all like to proceed? Are you going to emerge? Like, where are you going to emerge from? Are you going to try to sort of like pincer, like split up and pincer the dock, or do you want to emerge under the dock? Do you want to emerge just in front? How do you want to do this? There are two orcs specifically sitting on the dock, just sort of. They seem to have no idea what the fuck is about to happen. So,
Now, dude, did you mean how do we want to cook this?
let them cook, man. Let them cook.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
I'll be under the dock, personally.
Okay.
I'll be with him. He's my
Yeah,
best friend.
I'll stick with, I think, probably one group. That's my initial thought. That's where I would go with also under the dock.
Okay.
All five of us just.
I mean, yeah, just stick together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which one of us in the crew tends to make the best tactical decisions? Is it me?
It's Gaxel. It's not even close.
Axel would make sense, but Jamie's not very good at making those all the time. So I will do my
We'll
best.
follow your
If
lead
we're
despite
assuming
that.
on intelligence, I would assume Misha, but I think I might be next, so I don't like that.
Yeah, I'll just kind of follow Gaxel's lead.
Gaxel like this.
The only reason is because that's Yvonne is following Gaxel's lead, and I'm following.
This is kind of his home turf, so to speak.
Gaxel, predator-like, sifts through the water and just slowly breaks the surface with his eyes as they flicker around lidless as he flicks around looking. Gaxel, you can see the two dangling legs of the orcs sitting on the dock, and you overhear with your passive perception. They seem to be in conversation. You just catch a little bit of the tail end of what seems to be some bit of discussion that they have going. You hear, I don't know. I had heard some time ago that, Elvish women, they appreciate a good roll of good wheel of cheese, but nothing really ever came of that. I tried to present her, a nice wheel of Gouda, but she had nothing to say but screaming like they usually do. So I just stabbed her. I killed her right then, And the other guy, the other orcish fellow, just says, "Oh, that's understandable. I hear Elvish women actually prefer
something more of like that red ale that those humans are always drinking.
And they just sort of are talking about some like ridiculous, meeting that they've been trying to have to get laid or whatever.
Incel orcs.
It's a great strategy.
Yep. Just so you don't feel bad at all about what you're about to do.
Cool. They seem very unsympathetic. I'm going to.
I don't know. It seems like they put themselves out there and were rejected, and now are, utilizing the male friendship to get through their, their low points.
I'm going to wait.
Yeah, let's kill them.
Let's kill them.
Once everyone's ready, I'd like to wait until one of them is looking away and maybe talking, and then grab the other one and drag him into the water.
Okay. I'll say that it's very difficult, if not impossible, to try to get an idea of where they're looking because you're under the dock and you only see their feet.
I guess I'll wait until. But I hear them.
Yeah.
Talking.
Yep.
I'll wait until one of them is talking and then grab the other one and drag him under.
Got it. You're waiting for this moment as the rest of your companions, one by one, break the surface and sort of look at you. And like you turn to them, you nod a little bit, and your tail breaks the surface of the water and like points at the one on the left. Go ahead and give me a. Are you gonna just like try to grab him and pull him down?
If I can bite him, I just want to be like.
Oh, okay, yeah, fucking go for it. Make an attack roll. With your.
You said no biting dicks.
It's probably a grapple though, right? Because it's if I'm actually trying to move him.
For now, let's just say make a bite attack roll.
It's 24 to hit.
That certainly hits. You can roll damage.
It's 3 damage.
Okay. Now we're gonna make contested checks. So yours is going to be athletics, and then mine can be athletics or acrobatics.
Okay.
And remember, you have advantage on strength checks.
Oh, perfect.
From
Yes.
Bear's strength.
Awesome. Glad I have that because I rolled. Oh shit! I rolled really low for both. I got a 4.
I got an 11. So you reach up and you chomp on this orc's leg, and you begin to try to pull him down, and you do pull him like a little bit. You shift him off his ass like down towards the water, and he turns and grabs onto the side of the dock, and he just sort of yelps out in pain as you bite into his ankle and slip and scrape your lizard serrated teeth off of him back down into the water. And just like starts turning and screaming to the other orc who's like trying to help him up. They have like no fucking idea like what is going on. They just assume it's some sort of sea creature as they're like pulling each other off the dock and like back away. Do you all want to try to do something? Should we roll initiative?
I want to sneakily swim to the other side of the dock. So I'm assuming they're distracted with that side. And I want to swim over there until I've got a good look on the one he's not grabbing, and I want to throw a dagger at him.
Okay.
Brain dagger.
Brain dagger. You got it.
Yeah.
Firstly, give me a stealth check.
Okay.
Do it with advantage since this is happening in a skirmish.
Well, I rolled 13 both times. That's a 24.
24. Good to know. You slip up the side as this is happening, and you turn, and you get sort of a point of view on like the two orcs trying to hoist one another like away from the dock, and you fire your mind dagger at this this orc. Are you firing at the one who Gaxel already bit, or the one who is trying to help?
The other one, the one who's
Gotcha.
trying to help.
Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Party drinks, by the way.
Party drinks, party drinks. Everybody take a drink.
Ooh, I did not roll super great. 14.
14 hits. Go ahead and roll damage. This would also be considered a sneak attack.
Yes. Okay, I'm trying to make sure I'm rolling the right thing. Right. The second one's a D4. Okay, so it's a D6. That's 7 and sneak attack. What is sneak attack?
What a great question.
What is sneak attack?
What even is sneak
It's
attack?
4d6 for you if you're level 7. I
It
think.
sure,
Or
it sure
might be
is.
3.
No, it's 4.
Okay.
So that was 2, 5, 7. Plus 23. 7, that's 30 points of damage.
How do you want to cook this
Okay.
orc?
Oh, it goes. So my little mind knife looks kind of like an iron nail, like with the ornate ones with like nice twist in the middle, and it just goes straight through the back of his head, and you see the point stick out, and then it disappears.
It does exactly that, and as soon as it disappears, the orc sort of his body stops, and the orc who's like putting all his weight on the standing one that you just fucking mind knifed in the fucking dome. The body falls forward as the orc begins to trip and fall as he's putting his weight down, and they both fall crashing into the water below. The dead body beginning to just sort of like half sink, half float as his body just sort of dangles in the salt water as the other one sort of flails about like, oh, fuck! As he looks around, the four of you are right there if each of you would like to try to attack this orc at the moment, or whatever you want to try to do.
I'm gonna hit him with a vicious mockery real quick.
Okay.
No elf will ever love you. You are ugly inside and out.
Oh my lord.
Again, 16 wisdom saving throw.
That's a natural 1.
Had to be. That's gonna be 5, and I believe, what is it? Disadvantage on his next attack, right? Yeah. So his next attack roll is at disadvantage.
He reaches up and splashes water all around him, so he still seems to be discombobulated about what is going on. He holds his head as bits of blood begins to drain out of his nose as he just sort of like writhes in anger from this arcane assault against his mind. He is still thrashing and treading water, but he still has absolutely no fucking idea what the hell is going on. Misha, Des?
Can So I'm still under the dock, I think.
Yeah.
Can I have Yvonne scramble up onto the dock and then use his vision instead of mine to see this orc and then hit him with a mind sliver?
So this orc now is in the water with you all.
Oh, it is. Okay. Cool. Then I'll just hit him with a mind sliver.
Okay. That's what kind of save?
That's a intelligence save. But for everyone else watching, it looks like Yvonne is doing it because that's real cute.
I love it. That's going to be an 8.
That fails. He takes... That's a double 1, baby. Takes 2 psychic damage.
2 psychic damage as even more blood begins to spray out of his eye sockets now. He's just like nearly going blind. He's got the worst sinus headache of his whole fucking life. His foot is throbbing. He's bleeding everywhere, but he just won't die. Des, would you please put this orc out of his misery?
I'd love to. Can I use my tattoo?
You certainly can.
Can I use that more than once, like per day in general? I don't want to like waste it.
Read it if it says once per day.
It doesn't say that, so
Then it sounds like you can do it whenever you want.
That's so cool. All right, I have this like badass tattoo on my skin, and I touch it, and then the ink from the tattoo starts floating and crawling out from my arm, and it reaches out to this orc and grapples him. I'm gonna need him to make a strength save.
Okay.
And it makes it a disadvantage because of the mind sliver.
Yes. Okay. So 2 rolls. First one was lowest. That is an 11.
He fails. He's gonna take 3d6 force damage and be grappled by me.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage.
You're gonna be grappling a dead body.
I will grapple it. 3d6. Dun, dun, dun. That's 8 damage.
Just
8
another
points of
Wednesday
damage.
night.
How do you want to cook this orc?
I want all of that ink from the tattoo to kind of wrap around him like little tentacles, like Ursula in The Little Mermaid, and just squish him.
Sure.
Dead.
It does just that. As the ink that looses out from your arm sort of wraps around him like octopus tentacles, grasps on and begins to just constrict as his bones snap. Your arm twitches for a little bit as this happens, and the power of the tattoo almost becomes uncontrollable, but you rein it in, and as you do, your own strength kind of betrays you, and you just wring your arm across your body, and the force that you take with you moves this now limp, crushed orc body and just fucking launches it across the cerulean, and just fucking as like way, like maybe like 100 feet away, you just hear a as its limp body just splashes down into the water, the dark water, you know, a few 100 feet away from you.
That's how I wanted to do that.
The visceral disgust I have every single time you do that is immeasurable. Good job.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me.
All right. No one seems to notice this mini assault that has gone on the docks of the White Tusk Keep. As you all begin, well, I assume you all emerge from the water, or is there anything else that you want to do before you do that?
Yeah, I'm gonna pee real quick.
It's in the water for sure.
I thought that went without saying.
Yeah. Well, everyone
Listen
pees in
the whole
the
time.
ocean. Yeah, we all understand that. That's unspoken. Yeah.
That's why I always swim with my mouth open.
Yeah.
And right behind
It was
Axel.
weird that he was right behind me the whole time.
Yes. Very good. Okay. Each of you emerge from the water a little lighter. So it as you begin to make your way towards pea drinks.
Pee drinks.
All right, I'm gonna have to re-up
Pee.
agua. Each of you begins to emerge from the dark waters of the Cerulean Ocean onto the black sand shores of the Scorched Coast. You can hear what are the sounds of revelry and merrymaking, or at the very least, whatever type of merrymaking these orcish fellows might be doing behind their stone and wooden walls of their keep. This White Tusk Keep is not anything to scoff at, but it certainly is much smaller than the Chill Hearth Keep that you have been living in for the past few years. That home to you was sacred in some ways, but heavily fortified, if nothing else. This place, at least how they've set it up now, you've all had enough experience where you can figure out where you could penetrate if you needed to, but there's a different agenda on your mind. Nice. There's a different agenda on your mind this dark night. You hear the sounds of these orcs in the middle of whatever type of perhaps celebration or commune that they might be expressing at the moment. You can hear the sounds of steel clanging against steel, of crushing bones, of battle cries, of screams and laughter and the sloshing of ale. This is some type of violent night, which is right up the alley of these White Tusk raiders. There doesn't seem to be anybody else around, at least near the docks. Everybody seems to be within the keep itself. There is a sort of backdoor entrance that is not like a pair of grand iron-bound doors by any means, but there is a pair of smaller wooden doors on the back side of the keep that looks out into the ocean that you could enter into the courtyard through. They're not closed or anything. One of them is a bit ajar, and you can see the little bit of torchlight peeking out through that courtyard just beyond the threshold.
All right, what are we thinking? Open challenge, or do we want to try to sneak in there?
Sounds like they're having some fun themselves right now. Could just join in.
I think that if our goal is to hopefully get them on our side, facing them openly might be the best way of doing that.
I agree. I think they will appreciate the showing of strength.
All right. What was the entryway
Straight
again?
in.
Was it like a little door?
Yeah, essentially.
All right. Des, why don't you kick that door down? I've got this.
Yeah, and say something really cool when you do it, please.
Noted. All right. I got this. Can I kick the door down?
Go ahead and give me a strength check with advantage.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, bull strength, baby.
Yeah. I have so much of that. Oh, those.
Be strong.
Be strong.
It wasn't good. 16?
16, that succeeds. The door is ajar already. You just sort of angle yourself to the right, and you kick the door inwards, and it shatters off of its hinges down into the courtyard. You hear what sounds like a thudding sound, and then followed up by that, you just hear, "Oh, fuck!" as the door slams into some unsuspecting orc on the other side. You step forward and slam your foot on the now broken door that is just on top of like some sort of writhing figure underneath. And as you stomp down on it, the writhing figure, you just hear.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get in front of them and just like arms wide. All right, orcs and orcettes, give me your strongest warrior against my champion.
As you walk in and say these things, you look around and get like a real clear picture of like what is going on.
Sir, this is an Arby's.
It's what sounds more like a Waffle House if there's all this battling going on.
It is 100% a Waffle House at 3 a.m. for sure. All of these orcish folk are in the middle of what seems to be like a crazy, just think like a Dothraki wedding. Like it's just a crazy melee of drunken fighting, fucking, and merrymaking. Like it's just craziness in here. And all of that immediately stops, and a silence goes over the multitude of orcs that are in this courtyard. Probably something around like 50 strong. And everybody stops. There's like people holding others like up, people like mid-doggy style, others like that are chugging something. Someone's in the middle of like stabbing another person who just sort of stops and looks. He's being stabbed, and he's just like, what's going on?
Fuck.
And you just hear a voice coming from the underside of the broken door, slightly muffled. It just says, "If you're looking for a again,
I'm sorry, Jess. Could you step off? I can't understand a fucking word this guy is saying.
No, and me and Dash are gonna lift this door off of this muffled fellow.
Sure. And it's just like this, like young half orc looking person who just sort of like his nose is totally like bent to the side, like little bits of blood just sort of like, speckled across his face as his broken nose. He just sort of stands up, cracks it back in, and just sort of begins to well up tears. What I was trying to say is that if you are meaning to parley with Bonebreaker Dorkar, they are in the middle of a celebration, and they just sort of point over to this extraordinarily jacked orcish woman who is just like full on Amazoness position, just like fucking in the middle of the courtyard, some like random other orc, and she just like stops and just like looks at all of you, and you hear her speak in the Orcish language. Do any of you speak Orcish? None of you understand any of that. You just hear what sounds like craggly, guttural barking, essentially. And the half-orc gentleman says, I am assuming none of you understand what Bonebreaker has just announced.
Not
all right,
damn.
so
away.
Our chieftain, Dorikar, has apparently accepted your challenge. However, she says that she counts, and he points over to the rest of your companions who are behind you. 5 of you all. So rather than a champion against champion, she suggests her closest and most elite fighters against the 5 of you.
Definitely.
Seems
I mean,
I don't understand.
totally-
Is she afraid?
And he turns and says, and sort of recounts that in Orcish, and Bonebreaker Dorikar sort of, you hear her like laugh as she dismounts this very fatigued looking orc, and then just sort of picks him up by like the back of his neck and like holds him up like with one arm, and just like he's just like super fatigued and just like panting, super sweaty and stuff. She just holds him up and just squeezes his neck and snaps it as his head goes limp, and she just drops him onto the ground and just fucking flexes and roars at you all. And he just sort of, the half-orc gentleman just turns back and says, no, I don't think she's scared. I just think she is being kind.
Barbaric.
So I guess we're not fighting that guy.
Disgusting.
hell of a way to go.
Well, and he just turns and announces something in Orcish, and all of the sort of celebrating orcs all just sort of like part and form like this like circle that they all begin to start. You could all hear them like ooh, 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 as they all just sort of begin to chant this like very rhythmic and like powerful war cry as they all begin to form this circle in the middle of the courtyard as Bonebreaker Dorikar, a smaller, God bless you, Garrett, of course, a smaller, I love doing that to you, it's so funny to me, as Bonebreaker Dorikar sort of walks over to a few other orcs who begin to set her up into armor as they cover her body, who you can see now, like, it's just, she's just jacked to the tits. Literally, and she's got a handful of scars. Yeah, yes. She's got a handful of scars like on her body as well that have like healed over and just calloused. But just it is a hulking behemoth of a humanoid. In addition to her, 3 other orcish warriors seem to step up. They seem to be nothing like out of the ordinary of any other White Tusk raiders that you've dealt with. You're relatively familiar with their combat abilities, and you know, some of you are like, oh, you know, it's not too bad. However, there is a 5th orc that shambles up to Bonebreaker Dorikar and is slightly hunched a little bit, is wearing more of what looks to be like a tattered brown like cloak over his body, and is more of like a gnarled, rather than this sort of tall, proud, broad-looking humanoid that the rest of the orcs are. He's more of, it's almost like he has features reminiscent of like a goblin or a hobgoblin as his sort of hunched form. He looks, there's something about him that you all get the feeling that he's not entirely of pure orc blood.
in the same way that the half orc, half orcish blood, half humanoid, half human blood gentleman that you've been speaking to, who seems to speak pretty fluid common, this hybrid-like humanoid individual sort of shambles up with a walking stick and begins to sort of move his fingers around as he mutters some sort of orcish incantation as he directs some type of dark arcanum towards Bonebreaker Dorikar, as Bonebreaker Dorikar's body sort of hardens for a moment and her muscles flex. And she turns and lets out a bit of a war cry as the five of them sort of, huddle together in preparation for this challenge. Is there anything any of you want to do any further before you jump into this?
Let me see if this is concentration.
I do. Me and Misha and Yvonne do their secret handshake. It's like one of those 12 move things.
For sure.
Stuff. Little hip check. All that shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All
right, let's do this.
I turn back to Des and I just kind of like hit him on the shoulder a little bit. Like, you got this, man. And give him a wink, and that does give him bardic inspiration.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh, thanks, bro.
No, I'm gonna hold back.
I was going to face all the orcs and be like, hello, it's nice to meet all of you. I'm going to detail for you now how the various ways in which I'm going to dismember you. And I'll sort of proceed to just kind of give them a very concise description of my teeth will pierce your shoulder, and then I'll basically
of course,
that sort of thing.
I will bite your dick until it is off.
Pretty much.
Nom nom nom. I'm eating your dick.
All right, awesome. Okay, you all turn, and Bonebreaker Dorikar lets out an extraordinarily loud war cry as the rest of the orcs start to cheer and roar as well in this sort of symphony of violence. I would like everybody to roll initiative.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm excited. Take that.
Okay.
That's a 22.
Hey, I
22
also got a 22.
22 for Dash.
I got a 5.
5 for Gaxel.
20.
20 for Triss. And what for Des?
12.
12 for Des. Awesome. Alrighty. Well, then, at the top of the initiative, that's going to be Dash Braxton. As you see now, there is probably about like a 50-foot wide, like a 50-foot diameter circle that the White Tusk orcs have created for all of you in the middle of this courtyard. It is all of the furniture and everything that they've been using for revelry has just been pushed off to the side. It is simply just a fucking 50-foot diameter pit with a bunch of dirt and black sand on the ground for you all, an open space for you to just fucking brawl it out. So what would you like to do first, Dash?
Ironic for my name, I'm going to run up 30 feet. Because you said we're 50 feet away from them, right?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's only if they're on the exact wall there.
They are. They're on the exact opposite end of you, yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I might not do that for this one. Might be time to let my concentration go on the thing.
Let it go.
So I am going to go ahead and I'm gonna move up. Oh no, I don't need to move up at all. I'm actually going to make sure that I'm kind of at the back of the group.
Okay.
And just kind of let out and everyone hit them really hard. And I'm gonna go ahead and cast Fairy Fire. I'm assuming they're all within a 20-foot cube, roughly.
Totally.
Yeah. So they're all going to get covered in that unless they can pass a DC 16 Dex saving throw.
Okay. So for Nope. Nope. So these are the three normal orcs. No. The more gnarled one. What kind of a saving throw is it? Dexterity?
Yeah.
That is going to be a 20 for the gnarled one, and then Bonebreaker Dorkar, that is going to be a 14.
So only the gnarled one passed. Everyone else gets covered in a blue glowing light, and any attack roll against everyone but the gnarled one is going to have advantage.
Okay, good to know. So that's on I'm going to say that's on everybody, every one of you, to remember that for your attacks, to make them with attack rolls, with the exception of the gnarled one. Okay.
Yep.
I'll try to remember some of that, but as you're attacking, remember that is the case right now. Okay, so Fairy Fire has successfully been laid out onto the field. Little blue bits of Arcanum sort of dance around the orcish raiding group, and pretty much all of them except the gnarled-looking one. These little bits of blue Arcanum begin to cling to their bodies. The gnarled-looking one sort of waves his hand around, mutters an incantation, and is sort of, disperses the blue motes around him and is unaffected. Is that going to be the end of your turn, Dash?
Actually, I'm gonna say probably. Let me check my bonus actions real quick. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna do for now.
Yeah. Misha, you're up.
I turn to Dash and I say, so we are lighting them up then. And then I unleash a fireball.
Fireball! Alrighty.
So I will need dex saves on all of them.
Okay. Can do. The three normal orcs, failure, natural 20, and 10. So one of them succeeds.
Okay. That's on the five of them?
No, that's going to be the three normal orcs. Then the gnarled one. The gnarled one is going to be a 13.
Okay.
And then Bonebreaker Dorkar is going to be a 16.
Okay. So Bonebreaker and the Nat 20 both save.
Okay.
So they will take 15 fire damage. The rest of them will take 31 fire damage.
Okay. So, as the fireball is unleashed, it absolutely incinerates and burns up two of the three, normal orcish war raiders, as they just are burned to ashes in front of all of your eyes in this eruption of a fireball that Misha casts. The third one is heavily burned, but seems to be still standing. Let me just mark all this hilariously. And then that is going to be that. However, Bonebreaker Dorkar, the gnarled-looking orc, does seem to sustain a good amount of that damage. However, he's still standing. Bonebreaker Dorkar, however, while a little bit of that flame does lick against her exposed skin, the armor that she seems to be wearing glows for a moment after the eruption and then subsides. And in addition to her successful dexterity saving throw, she seems to even mitigate the damage a little bit, even more, perhaps because of the armor she is wearing. So she actually only suffers 7 points of fire damage.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, that is your action, casting Fireball.
Yeah. Then I'll turn to Ivan and I'll pull his little goggles down over his eyes. And Ivan will just scurry up and have a intense look about him, and his little goggles start to glow a little bit. And we're casting Sanctuary on me as a bonus action.
Okay.
So basically now anyone will have to make a wisdom save in order to attack me.
Okay. Unless you move to attack someone else.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay, great to know. Is that the end of your turn, my friend?
That is the end of my turn.
Okay, Triss, you are up.
Okay, I'm gonna back. Are they like forming like a circle around us? The other orcs.
The other, like the 50 other orcs. Yes, they have already formed a circle around you.
I'm gonna back away as far as I can get from all of them, and then I'm gonna make another soul dagger appear in my hand, and I'm gonna shoot it at the guy who is very badly burned. Very badly burned.
You attempt to move into the crowd of orcs to try to get away or to try to create even more space, and they bash up against you and shove you back into the sort of circle of battle that they made for you. This is about as far away as you can get. You are still 50 feet away from the from your challengers. However, you do take a moment to sort of bend down and whip your soul knife out forward against the burned one. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
With advantage, because that guy has Fairy Fire.
Yes.
Oh, does that mean I get sneak attack?
You do, because you have advantage on the attack.
I rolled a natural 20 and a 1.
Okay, go ahead and roll. So
that's
what
good.
you're going to do, what you're going to do is you're going to roll normal damage, and then I need you to roll a d6 for me, just completely separately, and tell me what that d6 is, because we're going to take a look at the critical hit effect table.
All right, I rolled 8 damage without the sneak attack. Do you want me to roll the sneak attack as well right now?
Oh yeah, roll everything.
I just threw all my dice everywhere. That's 13, 14, 22 damage in total.
22 damage in total, and then roll a d6, please.
8 of that is psychic damage.
Okay, go ahead and roll a d6 and tell me what the dice says.
I rolled a 6.
A 6. So all of the damage is doubled for this case. So you actually deal 44 points of damage.
Hell yeah. That dude is done.
Yeah, you whip your knife towards him, and it just, you have no, Moxley, relax. Sorry, he was like grabbing at the cords and stuff. You whip your soul knife at this orc, and it flies around and disappears right before it gets to his head. Moment stops and nothing happens until suddenly it just starts piercing all over his head and face as just his body just starts to erupt as blood begins to spray everywhere until it finally lodges out the back or through the back of his throat, out of his mouth, and then disappears. Maybe a dozen holes now penetrated out through his face until his body just falls limp onto the ground.
Swiss cheese brain.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Excellent.
Can I? That's probably not something I can do. What is my bonus actions? I'm gonna just take my second Psy Blade shot at another one that looks somewhat hurt, avoiding Miss Bonebreaker at the moment. Are they all fairy fired?
The gnarled one is not.
Oh, okay. So I guess not him.
Isn't it just the gnarled one and Bonebreaker?
And Dorocar, yes.
Yeah.
It's just the Bonebreaker and the gnarled one.
That are not.
No, that are left.
Wait, no, that's all that's left.
Yeah,
okay.
Bonebreaker is fairy fired, but you already used.
And I'll do Bonebreaker.
Yeah.
Hit that bitch. That is a 19 to hit.
19 just barely hits.
Holy shit.
Nice.
I should have saved that sneak for her. That is 7 points of damage. Psychic damage.
Damage. Gotcha. Alrighty. Is that the end of your turn, Triss?
That is the end of my turn.
Okay. The two other orcs that would have gone are dead, so we're going to move on to the gnarled-looking orc. Oh, Jamie, bless you.
Thank you.
And then Des, you're going to be up soon, so just prepare your turn, okay? So the gnarled-looking orc, it is now their turn. This orc turns towards you all and starts to sort of move their hand in the air and mutter an incantation, and then in common, in pretty clear common, you hear, "A nice trick. Ulrich Steel Twister can do the same," and snaps his fingers, and a tiny little ball of inferno erupts.
No, it
in
doesn't.
between all of you.
I actually wave my hand and cast Counterspell as a reaction.
What level are you casting Counterspell at?
I'm gonna go ahead and cast it at my 4th level.
And as he snaps his fingers, the little inferno, as Dash just sort of,
Oh, can you? You didn't look like him.
and the orc just sort of, fuck. Well done.
Thank you.
You successfully, that's so funny.
That's my best friend.
Yeah, he didn't even successfully cast it, so he doesn't get his bonus thing. Okay, well, fuck it. He just sort of like looks over to Bonebreaker, and Bonebreaker just, and he just goes, I died. That's gonna be the end of his turn. And Dorikar is just gonna and just roars at you all. She's going to use her war cry ability. Let's see. Hey, Moxley, god damn it. This cat is a menace.
Show me that.
She is you all see like a dull red aura pulse around her and Oreg Steel Twister, the gnarled looking orc next to her, as some type of bonus she seems to produce from herself. And then she's going to use her bonus action to run and just dash all the way up to you all as she clears 50 feet in, a matter of seconds. She uses her bonus action and then her movement to get all the way up to you all, and she's going to rush up against you, Dash, first, and is going to attack you twice with her battle axe as she just rushes towards you and slashes. The first
question.
Yes.
Is Dash within 5 feet of me?
Yes.
So I have so my paladin fighting style is protection.
Okay.
While wielding a shield and a creature you can see attacks a target other than you within 5 feet, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll.
Okay. So for the first attack, Gaxel, you actually step to the side and throw your shield in the way, attempting to parry this mighty attack from the Bonebreaker. And she's going to roll the first attack with disadvantage. Okay. I actually rolled the same thing twice, so that is going to be 8 plus 9 is 17.
That'll hit.
17 hits. You suffer. Oh, yes. Des?
I'm going to do a warding maneuver. If you or a creature you can see within 5 feet is hit by an attack, you can roll 1d8 as a reaction and add the number rolled to the creature's AC against that attack.
Okay, go for it.
Sweet. Let me see.
So you both are using your reactions to do this?
Yes. It adds a 4 to your AC, Dash.
Push me up to 18 against that 17.
Meaning misses. Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Thanks,
She swings her mighty great axe, and first Gaxel moves to parry, and she smashes through that attack and almost makes it just before Des moves in. Des, what's the weapon? What's your weapon of choice?
Oh, well, my weapon is a battle axe.
A battle axe as well.
Battle
You
axe
are met.
versus battle axe.
you meet Bonebreaker's battle axe in the midst of the swing after it breaks through Gaxel's shield, and you hold it there, and the Bonebreaker swings it around, and now the second attack is going to be against you, Des.
Great.
Congrats.
That's a natural 20. I cannot crit on attacks as a dungeon master. However, this successfully hits.
Just for fun, I'm going to say that I'm going to go ahead and manipulate a little time right around Bonebreaker and make them re-roll with my chronal shift.
Okay, everyone's using their fucking reactions. Great, good job, good shit.
Wait,
I'm gonna
can I do-
re-roll.
Actually, Hannah, you do have inspiration from that time you crit.
Oh yes, you do get inspiration. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this is another 17.
Is his AC
Yo, sorry.
still 18 from that ability?
Sorry.
Oh, it's against me now, and that will definitely hit.
Okay, so 17 still hits. So you suffer 17 points of slashing damage,
Okay.
and you suffer an additional. 8 points of necrotic damage as the blade of the battle axe sinks into you, and just parts of your body that it cuts into begins to immediately rot and turn to necrosis. Your maximum hit points are also reduced by 8.
Oh.
Hey,
Okay.
hey, Jenna,
Yeah.
did you put on your armor?
We're not supposed to have anything.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
No, you wear your armor.
We have
We
the
have
things that we
all of
have.
the things.
Again,
Said
in
many
everything that I've
times.
said up to this point, I mentioned it a couple times.
So even
As
if
punishment for not realizing that, the attack succeeds.
Fair,
So,
fair.
we're going to continue on.
even if my armor was on, it would have hit.
Jess is like, oh, should I put this armor on? I'll put it on now. Yeah.
I'll put that on.
Bonebreaker Dorkar, after succeeding that attack, is going to use 10 feet of her movement to. Actually, no, she's not. She doesn't give a fuck about you guys. Des, it's your turn, and Gaxel, you're up next.
It's my turn.
It's Des's turn. Gaxel is up next.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry.
And I'm putting my armor on. No, just kidding. I already have that on. Okay, I want to take a swing with my vicious battle axe, please.
Okay, go for it. Make an attack roll.
I will. That is a 21.
21 hits.
Yes, excellent. Let's do some damage. It's not that great. It is a 9.
Okay.
But in addition to that, I would like to do my unwavering mark. So when you hit with a melee weapon attack, you can mark the creature. Let me exit out of this thing so I can read. Oh, there we go. Yes, when you hit with a melee weapon attack, you can mark the creature. While it is within 5 feet of you, a marked creature has disadvantage on any attack it makes against someone else.
Okay.
Yeah, lots of things will happen. So it needs to hit me, otherwise it will... If it tries to hit someone else, it's going to be fucked.
Okay, good to know. You slam your axe into the body of Bonebreaker Dorkar, and it makes contact, but that sort of red aura that seems to have appeared after she has sort of loosed her war cry, it seems to glance off this red aura that surrounds her body. And you feel that you make contact and do damage, but it seems like the red aura has taken the brunt of it. However, you do succeed in dealing 9 points of damage.
Thank you. That's the end of my turn.
Okay.
All right, I'm up.
You are up.
All right. I'm gonna maneuver so that I want to end up in melee with Bonebreaker, but also within 5 feet of Des.
You are.
If possible. I already am. Okay, cool. So I'm going to, as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Ensnaring Strike.
Okay.
Which basically it's going to affect my next successful hit, and then I'm going to attempt to bite Bonebreaker.
Okay, go for it.
That's a 10 to hit.
A 10, unfortunately, is going to miss.
Okay, I get a second attack.
Go for it.
That's 12 to hit.
12 also misses.
Okay.
Alrighty. At the end of your turn, Gaxel, Bonebreaker Dorkar is going to use her villain action and is going to make a sweeping cleave attack against Dash, Des, and you, Gaxel. So this is a singular attack against all three of you. That is going to be a 25.
You
Yeah.
might be surprised to hear that does hit me.
Ah, of course.
Now, here's a question. My protection ability. It says, when wearing a shield and a creature you can see attacks a target other than you within 5 feet. Does that mean I can give some disadvantage on one of the attacks against someone else? Well,
does that cause? Does that require you to use a reaction?
It is a reaction.
You've already
spent the reaction.
This round.
Oh, okay, it's a bonus action. That's right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how it
No
works?
worries. Well, you used your reaction earlier in the round, and so you can't use another reaction until next round.
But wasn't that before my turn?
Yeah, but it's still in the round. So
I see. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Top of the initiative is when it comes back. Gotcha. Okay.
Once
So
I start.
If this is an attack that hits 3 people, does my unwavering mark count? Does it do anything?
please read the entirety of Unwavering Mark.
When you hit with a melee weapon attack, you can mark the creature until the end of your next turn. While it is within 5 feet of you, a marked creature has disadvantage on any attack roll. Any attack roll that doesn't target you. If the marked creature deals...
So this attack, it's a singular attack that does target you. It also happens to target other creatures.
Right. There's a little bit
my
more...
attack roll then for this attack?
Sorry, Jamie?
Sorry, never mind.
Okay.
There's 2 more sentences here. Let me see if they're relevant. If the marked creature deals damage to anyone else, you can make a special melee attack against it on your next turn as a bonus action with advantage and +3 extra damage.
Okay, I'll allow you to make that additional attack on your next turn for sure.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Alrighty, so 25 hits all of you, I believe, yes?
Yep.
Okay. You suffer... I'm gonna just use real dice for this. Where's my D12? You all suffer 10 points of slashing damage and an additional 6 points of necrotic damage as all of your wounds begin to decay immediately. All of your health is reduced by an additional 6 points.
Our max health or our...
Your max health is reduced by an additional 6 points.
Okay.
So you suffer the 6 points of damage, and then your maximum health decreases by 6 as well.
Okay.
Just to clarify, that was just the 3 of them, right?
That was just the 3 of them. That's all he can hit with his villain action. So that is going to be the end of the round. Back up to the top of the initiative is Dash. Misha is on deck.
Cool. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get away from this person. And going to try to move. I might use... Fuck it, full movement away, yeah.
Okay.
And as I'm doing so, anyone I pass is going to hear me go, flowers, ponies, pastels, as I'm casting Dissonant Whispers on Bonebreaker.
Okay. Very nice.
Trying not to get an erection.
No, I'm saying things that I think she'll hate.
Baseball. Grandma.
Go ahead and give me a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Wisdom. Okay. That is going to be a 19.
Okay, so it does pass, and it's going to take 4 total. What is it? Psychic damage, I assume. Yeah, psychic damage.
Okay. 4 total psychic damage.
And I suppose, as my bonus action, I can use another level 1 spell, right?
If you haven't cast a spell higher than 2.
Okay.
And if the spell is obviously
it is a bonus action.
bonus action, yeah.
I'll hold on to it for now. There's no point in doing it if someone's not down.
Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
All right. Misha, you're up. Triss, you're on deck.
I I am going to look over at Dash and give a supportive smirk and nod, and then I cast the warp spell on him, putting him next in the initiative order.
Amazing.
It's a homebrew spell. Don't freak out.
Yeah.
It is.
Right. And I'll just tell Yvonne to use the help action on Dash as well, even though I don't think it'll matter. I just want to give him moral support.
Sure. Alrighty. Dash, you're up.
Cool. So how far am I away from the gnarled guy now?
You're still 50 feet away. Did you move up? Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, I moved away from Bonebreaker, more towards the center of the circle.
Oh, okay. Did you do that? Sorry, I completely missed that last. Did you do that just now?
That was the first thing I did in my last turn, because I'm
so sorry. She's going to use an attack of opportunity against you. I apologize. I don't know why.
You missed it, but fine.
Well, I don't know why. I registered that you said that. Okay. That's going to be a 17.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Kidoki. 17 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And 7 points of necrotic damage. And then your maximum health is reduced by an additional 7.
Alright, so 17 plus 7, right?
Yes, so 24.
Yeah. And then down additional 7, which can put me at minus 13. Okay. Oh, whoops. There we go. Cool.
Okay. Now take your turn. Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah. So, almost limping now, I guess. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna run right at that gnarled guy, and I'm gonna get a little knee slide and just go Thunderstruck.
Oh my lord!
And I'm gonna go ahead and cast Thunder Wave at the 3rd level.
Amazing.
Give me a con save.
Con save. Oh, fail. That's a 7, baby.
Cool. So he's gonna take. That's not bad. 18 thunder damage and get pushed 10 feet away from me.
Okay. You just erupt in a thunderclap as you slide towards Steel Twister, as he is stunted 10 feet away, slamming into the back of the orcs, who slam back into him. So he's going to suffer an additional 4 points of bludgeoning damage as they push him onto the ground. He is not shunted 10 feet back because he can't be pushed beyond the gaggle of orcs, but he falls onto the ground prone for sure. Mm-hmm. That red aura around him that appeared when Bonebreaker Durakar made her war cry disappears.
Good. Okay.
All right.
And then I cast a 3rd level spell, so I can't do a bonus action spell, right?
Correct. Yes.
Cool. Okay, that's the end of my turn then. Wait, I have a bonus action.
Oh.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn to Misha and be like, "Hey, thanks," and give him
do it.
inspiration as well.
Hell yeah!
Nice.
Alrighty,
Hey.
Triss, you're up.
Okay, how does inspiration work? Is that just It's a
D8, I believe, for you.
Yep.
That you can add things.
Yep, D8. For 10 minutes, the creature can add it to one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. This can be added after seeing the roll, but before knowing the outcome.
Gotcha. Oh, I took all my D8s away. That's okay. Am I near? I'm having a little trouble figuring out where I am on the field. Am I near any of my buddies?
Your companions? Yes, you are pretty
Yes.
much next to all of them for all intents and purposes.
Can I bonus action hide behind one of them? And get
I
a
will
little
allow it.
sneaky,
You can certainly
sneaky
try to
attack?
hide behind. Yeah, you can try to hide behind Death or Gaxel or both of them.
Gaxel. Let's go Gaxel.
Cool.
It's got that tail.
True.
Easier to hide behind. Okay, that's... I'm assuming I roll on that, right?
Yeah, stealth check.
That's a 29.
You know, they Bonebreaker and Steel Twister, now that they're like being assailed by attacks and stuff, it's not like they don't know where you are. Like, it's not like they're like, this person doesn't exist anymore. But like, you know, you are pretty confident you could get a sneak attack in.
Well, they're not going to expect this. I'm going to push his tail aside, and between his legs, I'm going to shoot right to Bonebreaker.
Perfect.
Do
Very
I
good.
get advantage on that? Is that how that works?
She still has the fairy fire, so yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she still, so I didn't even need to do it. Whatever. That's fine. It was fun.
Yeah. Love it.
That is a 26 to hit.
26 definitely hits.
Okay, and so why'd I use the dice that can't read? That's a 6 plus 5, and then I do get sneak attack on that.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to be a rogue.
Just dropping dice. There's too many dice.
Jenna's like, I wish I was Taj again.
8. That's 33 damage. Is it all psychic with the sneak attack? Does it take the damage type of the attack? I would think it
for now
does.
we'll say yes. Why not? I don't know. I'll have to look that up. I think it might just be like its own. I think it's like damageless damage, if that makes sense. I don't actually know off the top of my head. But you successfully deal 33 points of damage. The red aura around her body dissipates. And her face she reaches up with her hand and just, and blood starts to pour out of the side of her cheek as it's sort of like ripped open from that soul knife that you chuck towards her face, and it pierces through her ear and nearly rips her orcish ear off. Well done. Is that going to be the end of your turn?
That's it, because I used my bonus action.
Alrighty. We're back to yes, Garrett.
I just looked it up real quick. Sneak attack's damage type is the same as the weapon used to deliver
Oh,
the
cool.
attack. Yeah.
Amazing. All right. Well, we're going to move on to Oreg Steel Twister's turn. The gnarled Oreg is going to turn, and he is going to. You little shit. And he is going to stand up, and he's just going to hold his hand against you, Dash. And he's
Against
going
me?
to.
So he's coming up to me?
He's not coming up to you. He just stands and holds his hand in front. And he is going to begin to conjure a spell on each of his fingertips. Sorry, hold on. How many? On his 3 fingertips that he holds towards you, little glowing arcane baubles begin to amalgamate, and then he
Counterspell, bitch.
counterspell again. Go for it.
This will be
what
at
level are
the
you?
3rd level.
Alrighty. Yeah, you successfully counterspell his magic missile attempt. Using another one of using your reaction.
Yep.
And his spell just fizzles again. He just and that's the end of his turn. He literally can't do anything. That's so funny.
It happens to a lot of old people. Don't worry.
Okay, it is Bonebreaker's turn. Gonna roll a d6. She does get her war cry back, and she is going to use that. However, this time, instead of a red aura around her body and Oreg's body, now this sort of dark purple-ish aura emanates from her body after she roars in front of all of your faces. She is going to use her 2 attacks as well. And let's see, around her is Gaxel, Des, and Misha, correct?
I believe so.
Okay, she is.
And she's marked, right?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yes.
She's marked. She's got Fairy of Fire.
Yeah, I think the last person that was really aggravating her was Des still. So she's going to use the first attack against Des at the very least.
I'll use my reaction to reduce protection, so that'll have a disadvantage.
Disadvantage, sounds good. Make this roll at disadvantage. That is only going to be a 15 to hit.
It doesn't hit me. I'm wearing armor.
Amazing. She moves to slash her giant axe at you this time, and now you sort of prepare yourself to fend it off and crouch in a position for it to glance off of your armored shoulder. And just before that happens, Gaxel slams her arm with his shield, and it misses its mark entirely. And she swings it around, and she says, "Fucking die!" She says it in Orcish. You don't understand it, but you have a pretty good idea of what she says. Attack you, Gaxel. And this is what happens, Jenna.
Yes, I was going to say, bear in mind that this will be at disadvantage.
Okay.
That's all.
A good thing it was at disadvantage because I rolled a natural 20. So that is going to be a 17 to hit you. That'll hit. All right. You suffer. Very low.
It misses.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't you have plate armor?
Okie dokie. This time it swings around, and Des is the one who sort of intervenes on your behalf. The sort of 2-on-2 special here is making it very difficult for Bonebreaker to get any attacks in.
It seems like you may have missed.
I'm a dumbass. I'm so fucking stupid. I'll just roll it over to the next turn. The literal whole point of the purple aura is that she gets advantage on her attacks, and I just have not been paying attention to that. So I'll roll it over to the next turn. That's fine. But Des, it is your turn, and then Gaxel, you will be up next.
Cool. Sweet. I want to hit her with a vicious battle axe.
Okay, go for it.
I'm gonna. 22.
22 hits.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna deal 14 damage. And then I am gonna do that as the result of my unwavering mark. I get to do the special bonus action attack, which will be with advantage.
Sure.
That's what it says, that it will be with advantage, which is a 26.
That also hits.
All right, so let's do some more damage. So on top of the original 14, add another 13, 27 damage total. 13
additional damage. You slam your great axe, not once but twice, into the abdomen of Dorokar. She coughs up blood as she's standing there, just sort of taking all of these attacks, standing tall and strong against them. You guys are really fucking hacking away at her, and she is definitely suffering. Do you want to do anything else on your turn, Des?
Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to use my action surge to take one additional action on my turn.
Go for it.
Let's go hit her again.
Sure.
Or I'm going to try. It will not work. It was a natural 1.
Okay. I mean, because it's your action, you're taking the attack action, which you can do twice in the action, so you can attack again from your action surge. That's the whole point of action surge.
Oh my god. Amazing.
Oh yeah. That's nice.
Cool. I still don't think it hits because it's 14.
14 does miss, unfortunately. But that, I'll be honest with you, if you would have rolled well on both of those attacks, probably would have gotten pretty far. So we love to see it. That is the end of your turn, Des. Okay. At the end of your turn, Bonebreaker Dorokar is going to use her villain action, and she's going to swing her axe around and attempt to cleave you two again. Misha, I do not believe you are in the area of effect of this cleave. You were not affected last time, so this is just against Des. Yeah, this is just against Des and Gaxel. This is at advantage because of her purple aura.
I will say I am right behind Gaxel. I don't know.
Oh, then you are in. Yes, that is true. You are in the way of this, so you will be affected by this possibly as well. With advantage because of the aura, that is going to be a 17 again. I've literally rolled 17 more often than anything else so far.
So does 17 hit any of you?
No.
That'll miss.
Miss.
She swings the axe around, and you all just fucking duck instinctively, and it just woof, shaves a little bit of the hair off of each of your heads. Alrighty, Gaxel, it is your turn.
All right, that's Biter.
You're gonna bite her. Go for it, buddy.
Kinky.
And is she still fairy fire? Does he have advantage?
She still has fairy fire, yep.
Okay, I think I forgot to do that last time. So let's play. All right, so first attack is going to be 14 to hit.
14 misses.
Okay, second attack. $17 to hit.
17 also misses.
Dang, okay.
Sorry, buddy.
Fair enough.
Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, that's the end of my turn.
Misha, you are up. Dash, you're on deck.
Yes. I think I'm feeling like Bonebreaker has enough to worry about that she's not really focused on me. So I'm gonna go ahead and make I'm gonna cast Sapping Sting on Bonebreaker.
Okay, sounds good.
It's a con save.
Con save on Bonebreaker. Got it.
Mm-hmm. Which I assume is pretty fucking high, but
it's a natural 20.
yeah, okay, she's good. And I think I'm gonna move away. I'm just gonna move away.
Okay, sounds good. You shift away from her. Are you gonna go to the left side or the right side?
I will head in the direction of the our gnarled friend.
Okay, sounds good. That is the end of your turn. Dash, it is your turn. Triss, you're on deck.
And I will tell Yvonne to stay with me. That's what I'm going to tell her.
Yes, Yvonne scurries with you.
Yvonne uses companionship.
Who out there could love you more than I?
I'm gonna square up. Like, I'm not much of a dancer, but I've always been a fan of stomp, and I'm gonna stomp my foot, and a thunder wave is gonna come out of it.
Jesus Christ!
Stomp is canon.
At the second level, I'm casting thunder wave.
Okay. It's another con save.
Con saving throw.
It's not that good. 14.
Does not succeed, so that's going to be 9 thunder damage, and again, he's going to get pushed back as if he was going 10 feet.
Yes, and he slams into the orcs again, and he's going to suffer an additional, it's pretty low, 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
I was just getting fucking knocked down every turn.
It's... What are the conditions to be able to cast a spell as a bonus action? It can't be above level 2, or it can't be level 2 and above.
Yes, so you can cast 2 spells a turn as long as one of them is level 2 or lower.
Okay. Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna also cast Healing Word on myself. So as he's like shunted back, I'm just gonna be like, I'm okay, I'm not hurt, as I'm just like hoping I'm covering up my wounds.
Sure.
And yeah, heal for 6.
No worries, still better than nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the end of your turn. Triss, you're up.
Well, we'll just take another pot shot from in between Daxel's legs again at Miss Bonebreaker, who is still fairy fired. This feels like a lot.
Yeah, Fairy Fire is a very powerful spell.
Mm-hmm. There's a reason I took it.
Especially combined with this. So let's try that. Okay, that is... This is a Psychic Blade. Once again, that's a 23 to hit.
23 hits.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll them all at once this time.
Yeah, go for it.
And I'm gonna throw one on the floor. Let's just roll this one instead, because I'll never find that again. 4, 8. Ooh, not super great this time. 24.
24 points of damage. The blade pierces through Dorkar's chest this time, and she coughs up blood, and you can see she's on the brink of falling, and her leg shoots out in front of her, and she stomps on the ground and turns and just looses out a cry, just a blood-curdling scream as her eyes sort of glaze over in this like fog of fury. I need everyone to make wisdom saving throws.
Oh no.
Dash, it looks like she's a fan of Stomp too.
So something of note, all allies within 10 feet of me, as long as I'm conscious, if you're within 10 feet of me, you'll get +4 to all saving throws.
Nice. Can I also use that bardic that Dash gave me earlier?
On your saving throw? Yes, I believe so.
Yep. Attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws.
Jamie, what did we get?
Plus, if you're within 10 feet of me, you get +4 on all your saving throws.
I'm right behind you, so.
I got a 19.
21.
Yep. 16.
8.
Okay.
15. The saving throw. Yeah. Okay. I can't do anything.
Everybody but Dash saves against this shrieking cry. Dash, your speed is reduced to 0 as your knees tremble and your heart sinks at the sight of this unending fury. You also have disadvantage against any type of action or attack on your next turn. So any skill check or saving throw on your Jesus Christ. You have disadvantage on all skill checks and saving throws until the end of your next turn.
Got it.
Thank you. Everybody else, totally fine. You don't give a fuck about this. Great.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Triss, is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Well, I still have my bonus action, so I'm gonna pull another knife out of my brain and throw it at. Let's throw it at her again. Why not?
Okay. You can make an attack like this as a bonus action?
Yes, it's less damage.
Okay. Heard.
Bonus action, I can do another side blade.
Look what I have.
Whatchamacallit again. I think, is it still a plus? Yes, it is. Okay, that is 23 to hit.
23 hits.
That could be a 10 of damage. 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage. How do you want to cook this?
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa! Just, right in the middle of her burly tits.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Her muscular breasts.
Jamie,
It feels like Shrek pulling the wax out of his ear.
Yeah.
Make the candle. Sorry.
Triss slowly pulls earwax out of her ear. As the mind knife is retracted out of Triss's head, she turns and holds it and turns her hand over until the edge of the spiked blade is sitting just on her fingernail, and she flicks it forward as it right through her chest, out the backside, through 3 different orcs behind her as it pierces through their head, as her chest literally stands head height of the normal sized orc. And you just get like a quadruple headshot as it pierces through her chest, and she falls back. One moment, please.
Wait, guys, were we supposed to kill her?
I think so.
I don't know if that's what you do in a parlay.
God, I
I
hope
think
so.
that's how it works in this parlay.
I think we just became leaders of White Tusk Orc tribe.
I think that's
Her
reasonable.
body slams onto the ground, and all of the orcs all around just sort of stop their chanting and their screaming and their roaring and just fucking erupt in just like crazy cheers. They all rush up to you, Triss, and just hoist you up and just like pick you up and throw you into the air and celebrate and scream and just completely ignoring everybody else, just full on, just like ooh, 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 little girl, and just Des
Very
and
small.
Des and Gaxel, you feel tugging at your arm. Somebody, as you turn and you see that half orc person, gentleman who you crushed with the door earlier, and he just sort of says, so it seems as though you are victorious. So you are now the honorary council of the White Tusk clan. Your companion seems to have claimed a, honorary higher title, I suppose, for getting the final blow on Bonebreaker Dorkar. I was Bonebreaker's major domo. My name is Will, so I guess I'll be serving you now. Good job, I guess. That was super fucked up and really violent and scary.
That was the intention.
Yeah.
Well, it sure is a pleasure to meet you. We are so excited to be here.
Happy to have you. Happy to have you. I'm gonna go poop. When I get nervous, I have to poop. So I'm gonna go do that. And
I cast guidance on Will.
And Will just sort of stops, and he turns over his shoulder, and he just looks at you and just turns back and then heads out to the shore. I think we're gonna stop there. I think we're gonna call it a first session there.
There's one thing I want to do.
Okay, tell me.
I'm gonna go up to Des and like sort of whisper to him, I am in so much pain, and I'm definitely pissed. Party drinks, by the way.
Party drinks. Hell yeah.
Could you please carry me for the rest of the night?
Yes, I can, buddy. Hop up on my back.
Oh, thank God.
True friendship.
And you do notice that you don't feel a pee spot, prestidigitation, you know how it goes.
Perfect. I want him up on my shoulders, and I'm just like holding on to his legs, and this is the way we're gonna walk around.
Hell yeah.
That was just important.
And then Yvonne climbs onto your shoulders.
Nice.
To
I
dash
give
his
him a
soul.
little head scratch.
Fuck yeah. All right. Hell yeah, you guys. What a fun first session. I think, appropriate enough to have a fun little combat, see, all of our little character moments and introduce the characters. And then next session, we'll really dive into, the reality of what this mini series is going to entail. So I'm very excited about that. Congratulations. You have acquired an orcish stronghold and a army of 50 orcs strong. So I will give you some fun little gameplay stats about that literally affects the gameplay. We're going to be playing with the Strongholds and Followers bonus content from the MCDM Productions. I really love them a lot, which this will serve as like a nice little introduction to that, because that we're going to be following those bonuses and those game rules with your new Wizard Tower that you've acquired in the Great Nolidian Craft. So this will be a nice for you to understand what the fuck is going on and stuff. So yeah, good stuff. Everybody in chat and watching at home, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for joining us. It seems as though we had a nice little audience for pretty much the entire time, so we really appreciate that. Definitely tune in next week, same times, same channel, a Little Dicey on Twitch. And also you probably noticed we took out the D&D in the title name. It's actually just a Little Dice, but we're going to continue to go by a Little Dicey. That's just the tag. We just want to with all the weird shit going on with the open gaming license and the ups and downs of that, we are our own thing. And so, we happen to play Dungeons and Dragons on here, but we are just storytellers at the end of the day. So that's what we want to do. So yeah, go ahead and give us a follow on our social medias and whatnot. We post about stuff there all the time. Definitely follow the Instagram specifically. I know Garrett has a fun time on the Twitter as well. And we're going to be bringing a handful of new content to you pretty shortly, so look out for that. And then next week we might even have some fun little, we are definitely going to have some fun little character portraits and stuff for our mini series. So be on the lookout for not a new overlay next week, but a little upgraded one with some stat cards and all that kind of stuff like you're used to seeing. So we want to thank you guys again for tuning in. We're going to see you next week, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for episode 2 of Cold, Cold Hearts. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Bang, 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 bang.